and Bill Gates walks in the room. And Bill Gates comes in, and he has an entourage with him, and they brought these drinks in cups. It looks disgusting. It's red and green, and it's kind of lumpy. And I don't know what it is. It stinks. Everybody's making a face that looks at it or smells it. Now, it turns out that it has adrenochrome in it, but I didn't know that at the time. And he tells everybody in the room, this will make you healthier and help you live longer. And he has everybody gets one. And then his
real quick, sorry to interrupt. You told me this on the phone a couple weeks ago. Up to that point, I had not known what adrenochrome was. Can you tell us what that is before you continue your story?
Sure. Adrenochrome is a chemical that is made in children's bodies. It's adrenaline and blood. And when they are terrified, their body releases this. And then they filter it. They used to filter it over bronze. Now I think they filter it over silver or gold.
By torturing children.
By torturing children, eventually to death. And they then they make this into a chemical, and you can either drink it or inject it, I think. And I've seen people hooked up to what looked like dialysis machines, and this was in California, but I didn't know that this is what they were doing. They were taking the impurities out of their bodies and then putting their blood back in with adrenochrome.
Mm.
And adrenochrome supposedly makes you live longer, like a lot longer. Like you shouldn't be living this long. And I certainly, I got enough stuff to answer for on Judgment Day. I certainly would not want to answer for why I killed children so that I could live longer. So Gates is giving these drinks to everybody, and he gives me one. And I'm thinking, I'm not drinking that. I don't know what it is, but I'm not interested. I'm fine with my Dr. Pepper. And he tells everybody basically what it is, but he doesn't say adrenochrome. And he tells everybody to drink up. And I opened my Dr. Pepper, and I took a sip. And he told me that I have to do what he says. And I said, who do you think you're talking to? And he says, everybody in this room has to do what I say. Take a drink of this drink. And he had a name for it, but I don't remember it. And I took a drink of my Dr. Pepper. It's like, I am not the one. And so he's ordering me to take the sip, drink it. And he's ordering everybody to do it. Everybody else is doing it. And they've got the most disgusted looks on their faces, but they're doing it. I'm refusing to do it. So then I'm standing up. He tells everybody to stand up. So I sat down, because you do not tell the High Wizard what to do. So then he orders me again. He tells me that I have to do what he says. And I said, is that your final answer? And he ordered me to get up and take a drink. And I waved my hand over him, and suddenly he couldn't move. He could talk, but he couldn't move. Like he was trying to take a step or sit down or do anything. He couldn't take another.
That point, real quick, I had seen Bill Gates kind of when he gets excited, he kind of gets into a higher voice, at least on the things I've seen on TV. Clearly, I've never seen him in real life. What did he sound like when he was getting mad at you?
Very shrill. It's almost like a child having a tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
And I laughed about it, to his face, basically. And I got up, picked up my Dr. Pepper, and walked out.
So let me get this straight. You put a spell on him, and he froze, couldn't move his body, but could keep speaking.
Right. So I walked out. I walked down a hallway, got my driver, told him we were leaving. And, he was saying, I thought this event lasted a few more days. I said, it does. I'm leaving for the night. And he knows that when we're there, we're there. We're going to be there for 18 hours. And we're leaving after 6 hours, maybe. And, he's not going to ask any questions. He's just the driver. So he goes out, takes me back to my hotel. And then I get dinner. When I get back to my hotel, my phone is ringing. This is before cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
But we might have had sat phones back then.
Right.
But, my hotel room, my phone is ringing. And I walked over and unplugged the phone. And then I went out for dinner. I took a shower, and then I went out for dinner. Then I came back to the hotel room, started watching some TV, plugged the phone back in. It was still ringing. So I unplugged it again.
And you're talking about one of those landlines into the hotel room, obviously not a cell phone.
Right. So I would watch some TV for a while, drink a couple of drinks, and then plug the phone back in. And the phone's still ringing, so I answered it. And somebody in the room says he wants to know if I'll remove the spell off of him. And I said, is he ready to say he's sorry? And so they ask him, and he says no. So I hung up the phone.
Mm.
And, I thought I'm going to enjoy some time in the hot tub. So I did that, had a couple more drinks, came back out, went, laid on the bed, turned on the TV. Thought maybe I should plug the phone back in. So I did that, and the phone was still ringing. So I picked it up, and they said, the first thing out of there, I said, hello. He said, he's ready to make an apology. And I said, let me hear it. So he said that he was very sorry that he tried to order me to do something, that he did not realize the power and scope of the High Wizard, and that he didn't have the power to tell me what to do, and that he would not make that mistake again. So I waved my hand again, and I heard him with a sigh of relief, and he collapsed into the chair behind him.
Even though you were miles away when you released him?
Well, it's a demon that put the spell on him.
Mm-hmm.
So, the demons can travel, like that.
Sure.
Really
I just
quick.
mean you weren't right next to him when you released him, though.
Right. I just had to let the demon know that the spell's gone,
Mm-hmm.
and to release him. So I did that. Now, fast forward a few months, and I was as wizards, we have offices that we work